So let's talk about the confidence interval for the average difference between two means in the paired sample case. So just like before, we do have a confidence interval formula for the average difference. And in this case, remember, we are talking about the two means with the paired sample. So in other words, these guys are dependent. Here is our, our confidence interval. And T star is going to be our critical value and a very horrific formula for the degrees of freedom. So obviously we're going to be using technology. In particular, we will be using StatCrunch, but you can also use the TI-83 or 84. So we'll go ahead and use StatCrunch. So if we're given the data, again, we're going to do the same procedure that we did with hypothesis testing, but we're now going to select pair. But if we are not given the data, in that case, we want to go ahead and use the summary stats that they gave us. So let's go ahead and take a look at constructing a confidence interval for a 95% confidence interval for the true global average difference in temperature based on the given data before. So I forgot what the mean and standard deviation was, but let's go back. That's not it. It was this guy. Okay, so we're gonna use this as our mean and this guy as our standard deviation. So let's go ahead and go to StatCrunch. If I can find it, here it is. So let's go. So we're gonna get rid of all this. So we're gonna go back to stat. T-stats, we're only going to do it one sample with summary because we have the summary stats. So the mean in this case was 0.35. Our standard deviation was 0.296. Our n value was 32. And now in this case, instead of constructing a hypothesis test, we're going to construct a confidence interval. And if we recall, we want a 95% confidence, I believe. Oops, that's too far. So we want a 95% confidence. So we're going to click on 95%. We're going to compute, and we're going to take the lower limit and the upper limit. So in this case, let's go ahead and round to maybe 2 decimal places. So our confidence interval is going to be between 0.24. Let's just go all the way to 0.24 and 0.46, about there. Okay, so that's our confidence interval. And now what we want to do is be able to interpret it. So what we would say we are 95% confident that the true global average difference in temperature, and this is between the late 1900s to the early 1900s, lies somewhere between 0.24 and 0.46. Okay? And this is going to be our confidence interval. Remember the duality behind the hypothesis testing and the confidence interval. You can see that 0 is not incorporated in here. So you can kind of see that since 0 is not within the confidence interval, we can basically reject our null hypothesis and say that there actually has been an increase in global average difference in temperature. So we can also take a look at it in that perspective as well. So this is how you would construct a confidence interval. Again, you can also use a calculator if you'd like, but I use StatCrunch in this particular video.